They are full of nasty mattress stuff.
Good evening, everybody. I call to order the Wednesday, September 11th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. May I have a roll call, please?
Amanda here.
Lynn here.
Jeff here.
Michael here.
And do we have two absentees tonight? Yes, we do. Okay, so Eric and Daryl are absent. Please rise. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, has everybody read tonight's agenda?
Yes.
Are there any questions? Madison, no amendments to it? May I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Motion by Michael, second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Approval of the minutes of 2028. Does anybody have anything?
I have no changes.
I had a couple questions of Madison today, which she will.
Yes. So on page 10 in the packet, which I believe is page 8 of the minutes, it's under subsection A, discussion direction. There is kind of a hanging sentence under the third sub-bullet point of the first bullet point, where it just says Jeff A. said that there should be a requirement that the developer is trying to, and that is not a complete sentence. So I went back through and watched what Jeff was saying there, and I have since corrected the minutes to read essentially to the effect that Jeff A. said there should be a requirement that the developer is proving that they have tried to meet the recommended open space requirements, or recommended open space percentages. And then later on, the last sub-bullet point under that first bullet point says Eric R. asked if there's a limit on Highway 24, do we just keep adding? And he was referencing units there, so I just added units to the end of that sentence to make it clearer.
No, I'm just trying to make sure that that's what I intended when I said what I said. If that makes any sense. I believe that the context of it was that there was a difference in the new, what was being proposed as a requirement versus a what's the word?
Recommendation.
Correct. That's how the code reads now, is that it's a recommendation and this was a requirement. And so I think that what my intent was that our discussion was saying that not all PUDs can necessarily meet the requirement. And so that the intent is that they are trying to. I don't know how you write that, but I guess that's what you're trying to write, right?
Yes, within the minutes,
Okay.
not necessarily, like, obviously wordsmithing comes later in the actual article. but
Yeah,
within the
we're gonna
minutes.
hammer that out.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Lynn, for looking out for me.
Okay, so with that, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 28th, 2024 with the adjustments?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of August 28th with the amendments we just discussed.
I second that motion.
Motion by Jeff, second by Amanda, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, does anybody have any declaration of conflicts of interest this evening?
Yeah.
I do not.
Anybody else? No? Is there anybody in the audience who would like to give public comment? Nope.
Please.
Please, yes, please. Somebody, some chair say something. Any special presentations? No. Design review and land use, public hearing, 0036 Abbey Road, new multifamily building.
Okay. So I apologize for any confusion in the way I've referred to this building versus buildings. There's 4 kind of towers that sit on top of one pedestal with underground parking. So in terms of how we term it, I don't think it makes a big deal, but I apologize if there was any confusion. It is one complex of a 12-plex. The first multifamily building I think that I've ever processed, and the first application for Belton, which is exciting. So this is a new 12-plex that is roughly 29,000 gross square feet, located in the Southtown Belden Place PUD zone district. There are 4 3-story towers. Each story is an apartment or a flat, I think they've termed them. And so they have 3 stacked flats, 4 times 12 in total. The building is measured to 33 feet 4 and 11/16 inches. This is measured with the weighted height calculation that was approved with the Belden Place PUD, not the standard building height calculation that the rest of town uses. And so there's a bunch of different points pulled from pretty much every single significant roof element, and all of those are given weighted calculations to get to the 33 1/3 foot. And if you need any more explanation, Allison is the expert on that. They have 37 off-street spaces, 27 in the garage and 10 at surface level. They're only required to have 27 spaces, so they are providing 10 extra spaces, which we definitely appreciate, given that I'm sure I at least have lived in a multifamily structure before, and there never seems to be enough parking. They respect all of their setbacks, and they respect their lot coverage. Snow coverage, or snow storage, I apologize, is 1,500 square feet, which is more than they're required to have. They're required to have 1,361 square feet. So yes, I'm sure y'all are used to seeing this staff report with other staff didn't flag anything, and so we don't have any suggested recommendations or any suggested conditions, but we do have the architect and the applicant here today to help with any questions and give a presentation if they so choose.
Please, anybody? State your name and address.
Sure. Greg Masick, TAB Associates, 56 Edwards Village Boulevard, Edwards, Colorado. I'm the architect, and so I really don't have a presentation, so just here if you have any questions, but let me know if you have any questions.
This doesn't really relate, it relates, but what is the average size of these units?
It's 1,200 square feet, yeah, it's around that, yeah.
Anybody else? Amanda?
It also doesn't relate, but I was trying to figure out, some of them are gonna be resident occupied in the deed, or not deed restricted, but resident occupied.
Yes.
Yeah, do you know what's the percentage, cause we looked at the rest of the plat and it had those percentages, what's the percentage of the, and I'm asking
Of these
staff.
12 units?
Yeah, of these 12 units, I guess.
I can try and pull up the PUD guide real quick.
There's 50% in the development.
50% of the whole development.
Yeah, okay.
So nothing specific on these.
They're specified, I just don't have it memorized.
Gotcha.
Trying to get to the PUD guide.
Should I cover it?
Perfect.
The resident, they're local occupied, cause remember,
Local
they have that
occupied.
table, they have that tiering. So it's not a normal deed restriction, it's the tiering.
That's good.
I know,
8, 9.
9.
Nine of the
Thank you.
12?
9 out of the 12.
Okay, anything else?
Just to keep in line with Daryl's questioning on Firewise, are you guys gonna be doing a Firewise planting on the building? Daryl's always question.
He, on the
He's not
board of the
here.
fire department.
We are, and actually that was brought up we've already kind of started the building review,
Okay,
and that was brought up as far as the wildfire rating and so forth.
thanks.
I don't have anything. I'm glad to see some movement going on down there on the site. It's nice. I live down that end of town, and it's nice to finally see people back to work down there. I've always liked the way the buildings looked, and they, everything checks the boxes that we needed to check, so I don't have any issues with any of it.
Michael, you were not here back then, so do you have any questions?
No, pretty,
Wow.
pretty well in tune of the whole project. Even though I wasn't here, I always pay attention.
You're not gonna give any roofing advice?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You
Good take.
definitely want snow first.
We all have our specialties. Michael's are roofs. Can you refresh, it's been a while, and I was here, but I didn't go back and pull out the old, I still have some of the old stuff at home. How, 50% has to be local.
Resident occupied.
Resident occupied. So long-term, not necessarily from this area.
Right.
If somebody moved here and wanted to move in for full-time, okay. And then what if those units do not sell that way? Was there not a limitation or something?
We don't have any provisions for not having those ROs right now, so
Okay.
no.
So we're just gonna work real hard at doing that.
Exactly.
Okay.
We'll have to make adjustments in pricing and whatever else incentives we can to make them sell.
Okay,
It helps that we're building them first.
yes, definitely.
And this building's remained unchanged since the beginning, essentially. So all of the illustrations that came through during conceptual and preliminary and final, it didn't change, so
Okay.
it's exactly what you've seen before.
And was gonna be my next question, thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, because I thought there were some things that possibly were changing in the overall. Is that
Yeah.
true?
one.
We
right?
had 3 lots that became 1 lot.
Is that what it was?
But it was not related to this lot.
Right.
Yep,
This is, like you said, it's unchanged.
correct.
Nothing else? Anybody? Are we gonna have another fast meeting? We might meet our last time.
I don't know.
Okay, so may I have a motion?
I need public comment to be open.
Public comment, I'm sorry. We'll open to public comment. Would you like to say anything? We'll close public, is there anybody on Zoom?
No one online.
Sorry, Madison.
No, you're good.
Okay. I tend to forget when nobody's in the audience.
It's easy.
Now, may I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the final plan review for 0036 Abbey Road.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Amanda, I.
Lynn, aye.
Jeff, I.
Michael, I.
Thanks.
Thank
When are you
all.
gonna start?
As soon as we can.
This fall?
Oh, yeah, yesterday if we could. We're ready to go. We're waiting on, it's one more thing. The very last thing.
Just to let you know, if you read the public notice letter that you sent out, it says that this will be forwarded to council within 30 days of approval. And so this will likely be put on consent agenda at their next meeting, the 18th. So nothing's technically official until they've approved the consent agenda. It is within the council's purview to call up items off of the consent agenda to discuss. So I don't think you need to be here in person, but it probably wouldn't be a bad thing to maybe just have it online on your phone until they've gotten through the consent agenda and either approved it or called it up so you know what to expect. And if they do call it up, they are within their rights to modify or affirm the planning commission's decision to either add conditions of approval or just they wanted to call it up to talk about something. They can't talk about it if they just approve it on the consent agenda. And so if they just talk about it, and then they can make a motion to approve it as planning commission recommended, or they can make a motion to modify their recommendation. So just giving you a heads up.
Maybe just as a facilitator, just let them know it's the same one that we brought through all the other times. It was kind of unchanged.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can certainly mention that in the memo that will go with us.
So that would probably be useful to them to know if there's anything they're supposed to be looking at that's different.
Who came up with Abbey Road?
Our owner's wife, I believe it's their granddaughter's name.
Oh,
We
nice.
had to change it because somebody else used, we had Silver Loop and it got used in the time between then and now. And so we had to come up with a new name.
I like Abbey Road better,
Yes, we did too.
even though it doesn't have the E in it.
I know, we did think of that,
Yes.
but
Close enough.
Yes. When I was typing the letters and the notices and this, I kept putting the E in it. Kept putting the E in it and I had to go back and just like, oh, no, that's not how it's spelled.
Keep my turn funky.
Keep it turn funky.
Well, thank you for coming.
thank you all very much.
Thank
you.
Appreciate it.
I'd invite you to stay, but there's not much else on the agenda.
It's super
I'll visit
interesting
with
too.
Elmer.
Number 9, discussion and direction items.
We do not have anything.
Yeah, I know.
We don't
We
have
don't
anything.
have
We do not have anything. I thought you said you don't have anything.
No.
No. Staff reports, manager report is in the back of the packet. Everybody-
Scott, did you have anything to add while we're under staff reports?
I do not.
Okay.
Speak up, Scott, we can't hear you.
I have nothing for you.
There you are. Okay, future meetings. Planning commission comments, I'm sorry. Anybody?
No comments for me.
No comment.
We are gonna meet. We're at 18 minutes.
Oh,
Awesome.
This is a game we're playing now.
Nice.
The lowest was 23, Mike.
Clock's ticking.
Future meeting, September 25th. Everybody here?
Yes.
October 9th?
Yes.
Everybody here? Scott, do you have any idea when we'll get more on chapter 16 back?
Matt comes back from vacation, I think tomorrow. So I'll be in touch with him either towards the end of the week or next week. He owes me a draft of Article 8, which will be the subdivision submittal requirements and process, kind of like the land use application stuff that we already went through. He did provide a draft section of the new environmental impact report section of the code. But then he and I really need to get going on the zone district stuff. So I
So it
don't,
won't be the next meeting,
maybe the next meeting
maybe?
Yeah.
Okay,
for the 25th.
okay.
And I'm just going to give everybody heads up that I am gone Wednesday through Friday of next week when y'all would be getting your packets. So that either means that you're gonna get your packet on Tuesday, or I will have Scott work with Cindy about getting the packet out at the regular
Tuesday
time.
prior to your leaving?
Tuesday prior to my leaving, or I'll be working with my coworkers to hopefully turn it over to them for them to get it out on
Are you
Friday.
going away for fun or work?
Fun, it's my grandmother's 80th birthday.
Awesome.
Yes.
Grandma.
Oh, neat.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, Grandma.
So yes, but I just want to give you a heads up just in case for some reason you see an email e-blast go out on Tuesday and you're like, what the heck is going on? Don't know how feasible that is, getting everything put together 3 days before the packet normally goes out, but
Do we
I
know
will.
what we have on that packet, other than what's Scott's?
We can send another.
Possibly the next round of Belden.
Oh, okay.
And possibly 996 Main.
996.
Changes to approved plans. Y'all reviewed that 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Is that the gas station?
Behind the gas station, yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, with that, May I have a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting of September 11th, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Amanda, second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yay.
Still being-
Congratulations